Alright, with Bleach ending in 5 days. 5 days. There are still so many questions that need answers. So I've put together 5 plot holes, or questions that I personally would have liked addressed, but most likely never will be. So, let's start with number 5. Yoruichi's Bankai, or rather her entire Zanpakuto. Because she's been with us for quite some time, from the, Rukia Rescue arc. So, all we've seen her in is hand-to-hand combat, or more recently, paw-to-hand combat, but I digress. As a former Shinigami captain, she should have at least achieved Bankai, so why haven't we even seen a hint of her Zanpakuto to begin with? It's not like she hasn't had the panel time to do so. I mean, she's been lacking for sure, but she's had big fights. She didn't use it on Aizen, and she didn't use it on Askin. Fights where she was literally pushed to her limits and didn't actually even win, believe it or not. So, I guess at this time there's no use crying over spilled milk. Get it? Because of her cat transformation? No? Okay. On to number 4. Number 4, Sajin's Fate. One of the best fights early in this previous arc was Sajin versus Bambietta. I hope I pronounced that one right. But that fight was quite explosive, to say the least. Bad puns, I'll stop. Either way, Sajin was left depowered and turned into a full wolf. But, to gain that power that he used during the fight, he gave up his heart. So what the fuck is his fate? Is he dead because he doesn't have a heart? Or is he just stuck as a wolf? We might never know. Number 3. The remaining Sternritter. When it's all said and done, we still have some left unaccounted for. 3, to be specific. Candace, Manias, and Lily have not been shown or been stated to be deceased. And yes, while all 3 most definitely or probably have been hit by the Ashwelin, neither time was the Ashwelin used were they among those confirmed to have died. And as we know from Ashwelin, not having too much of a set power limit, people have survived it. Bazby and Nanana have actually survived it. So it's really up in the air on who's actually dead. But the first 2 aside, Lily was at least still wreaking havoc against Izuru. And he actually multiplied himself too. I mean, sure, he was a little bit weaker, but there should be traces of that fight. That was pretty huge. Just like meteors of Lily just dropped down onto the Soul Society. So, there should have been some sign of that. Even when Wok had actually gone down to the Soul Society, the fact that there was no signs of anyone else could mean that was, what happened. Heck, none of Lily's actually went up to Aizen, for that we know of. So, yeah, maybe that's already over. But, let's go to number 2. Kenpachi's Bankai details. No. I'm not going to get into this one fully. I'm just going to say short and sweet. All I want is 100% confirmation on Ichiru being Nozarashi. I mean, it's obvious. It's fucking obvious. However, what's not obvious is the contents of not just Kenpachi's Bankai, but her powers, Ichiru's powers. People are still debating on whether the little abilities she showed early on are even tied to Kenpachi's at all. So yeah, that's just a bag of shit right there. Bag of awesome shit, by the way. I love it. I love Ichiru and I love Kenpachi. So yeah, it's not shit, it's awesome shit. Just, bag of shit regardless, in terms of not being organized. Either way, that debate will never end, so there is no point continuing. But before I reveal the number 1, I just want to mention some honorable mentions, such as Karin and Yuzu's power, or lack therefore of. Even if they didn't inherit their dad's Shinigami abilities, they could have easily inherited their mother's Quincy powers. Sure, Karin's gotten stronger in terms of sensing spirits, but aside from that, there's no progress. We almost got a little tease back during the Fullbring arc, but the Fullbring arc never really tied up a bunch of stuff anyway, so if anything, it only tied up where Chaz's powers came from, that's it. So, that's one thing. Ukitake's status and fate. Could he be dead? Probably, but we didn't get a direct confirmation, which is one of the flaws of Kubo's writing style, but I still love him. Kubo's the man. The last one, though, ironically as he's on the screen, is Aizen's Bankai. Of course, could be that he just never had one and he used his Shikai to trick people into thinking he actually had one. That could be a thing, but that's also far-fetched as well. So, yeah, we'll just let that one be. But is what you've all been waiting for. The number one plot hole, in my eyes. Not your eyes, but my eyes. My eyes, not yours. Mine. Wak never using the Bankai he stole from Yamamoto. No. While Wak's Almighty is way too much for any power he fights against, he did spend time and effort in taking Yamamoto's Bankai, and even hyped it the fuck up. But there is one plausible explanation. Maybe this shouldn't be number one, because there is a semi-plausible explanation. But I only realized said possible explanation when I was rereading the volume in which the fight occurred, which I just bought recently. There is actually a panel that shows that the medallion was something also covered in ink. No, you guys are thinking, yeah, but Wako broke out of the blackness. Yeah, but can he break everything out of the black? Like, we haven't seen him use his sword, I don't think, since then, have we? And the medallion, it wouldn't be mentioned if he had used it, period. So, yeah, maybe he could only restore things that were naturally his. Maybe the sword's part of that, but the medallion sure as hell isn't. But, yeah, that's that. That is my top 5 plot holes for Bleach before it ends. So, do you guys have any plot holes that you desire that I probably missed? Tell me in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date. The links are in the description below. Till next time.